Well, time is short for those who live in fear. For those who are in longing, time will be long. And for those in celebration, time will seem unlimited. But for those who have rooted their being in an irreversible ignorance and intolerance and entitlement, time is pointless. You see, I was once told that God is getting tired of keeping time on the human race, so I proceed tenderly towards the pitfalls of humanity and dire need to remind you of why we stand here. You see, I would have ran here if you told me to, all the way from the battlegrounds of society where Hutus and Tutsis cry out their lullaby, all to send them to their dreamland. Just to remind you that he had a dream. And yes, it's a dream deeply rooted in the American dream, but since when were we the only ones to choke back tears caused by years of... Since when were we the only ones... I'm so sorry. Since when were we the only ones to choke back tears caused by blistered feet and cracked hands? Handcuffed to a lack of options, therefore a lack of freedom. We have never been the only ones to stand for hours in the short line to realize that the benefits of the long line were long-lasting and that there's nothing you could do about your child's hopelessness unless you surrender to a system. You see, Dr. King's legacy was a legacy of change for all. So if Dr. King had enough time to make a difference, imagine what yes we can was supposed to mean. We need to have a serious conversation with Father Time. You see, he's made a commitment to wisdom and he will not stop until the wedding bells of progress ring. She ties the stories of equality together tighter than the lynch ropes and the braids on her grandson's head, who she hopes one day will understand that her great-grandfather had no choice but to flee town, and that God must have already had his family heartline etched out in the 1930s because for no other reason would this family bloodline been spared in exchange for a change in location. He left nothing behind but a rose on the middle table and his wife 6 months pregnant, which explains why his grandmother's middle name was Rose, not to be confused with Rosa Parks, who sat down to cause a whole nation to stand up. She said she was tired, and we all know what happens when a woman gets tired. Nobody is happy. The movement for freedom was ignited, and the flame burns at 53 degrees, 1 degree for every year it took for change to persist. And she is passing the torch on. Lady Liberty is passing the torch on to us. And one silver-stained eye of hope that we'll know what to do with it. To whom much is given, much is expected. So if you're not willing to die for this cause, I'm going to need you to live for something else. Alright. We are having a staring contest with destiny, and from this day forward, we must refuse to blink. That's it. I'm sorry.